Hi there. Okay, in this video, we're going to look at a response to this summer 2023 extract question for Purple Hibiscus. If you come straight to this video, then you might want to go back to the last video where these annotations and highlights should make sense, and then come back and join this video. Okay, so the question was, how does Adichie make this such a dramatic moment in a novel? And the extract was the moment in the novel where Amica, Cambile, Antiphoma, and etc. learn about the death of Papa Eugene when Mama calls up. And there's a real sort of shift in the mood that starts off quite playful and they're having banter, then to a lot of concern, a lot of tension, and then the after effects where Cambile is just left kind of stunned and can hardly move at all. So before we get into the response that I go at under time conditions, I just wanted to draw your attention to the mark scheme. So the mark scheme here from Cambridge is the same for all of the literature papers. And you can see I've highlighted here. So obviously they're marked out of 25, but what you get between band 5, 14, 15, 16, and then 17, 18, 19 is this. When we're looking at the how, the way that the writer uses language and techniques to have an effect on us as a reader, here, obviously, it's just some response to the way the writer uses language. But can you see here, it makes a developed response to the way the writer achieves her or his effects. And so at the point at which you're talking about the effect on the reader, if it's a novel or a poem, or effect on the audience, if it's a play, a drama text, then you're going to start, I think, edging up into this band, particularly for AO3. So with that in mind, let's have a look then. Now, this is very briefly the plan that I wrote. So the introduction, dramatic, and why it's dramatic, why it's significant in a novel, the context, so a brief bit of overview there, showing that knowledge and understanding of where this moment is in the novel and why it's important. Paragraph 2, change of mood and atmosphere, is definitely something to cover. The third paragraph will go on to structure, so the repetition, the short sentences. Paragraph 4 will be the verbs and maybe some of the diction. Paragraph 5 will focus more on figurative language techniques, and then a brief conclusion. Writing a brief paragraph plan is quite important, I think, because actually what you're wanting to do is look back at what you've annotated and kind of group them together. Where are you seeing stuff that you can kind of put in a box, if you like? So similarly in metaphor, obviously, figurative techniques. Okay, I've picked out quite a lot of repetition going on. So that's definitely enough for a paragraph. Yeah. Repetition. And also the shift in tone and atmosphere and mood is something that really was important and something that I identified as I was annotating this. Okay, so the other advantage, of course, of writing a paragraph plan is it means your introduction can be very brief and very focused and outline and detail what you're going to cover. Remember that you must answer the question throughout. So how does Adichie make this such a dramatic moment in the novel? Let's have a look. Adichie makes this such a dramatic moment through the impactful change of mood and atmosphere in the house, the use of a range of structural devices, and the careful choice of verbs in other dictions. So that's my order that we're going to cover things in. The effect of these is shocking for the reader, as we learn about that the abuser of the Adichie family, Papa Eugene, has died at the hands of, as we later learn, Mama Beatrice. It is significant because Papa is characterized by Adichie as strong and resolute and almost kind of, immortal. Notice that we're showing here a little bit of awareness of the wider novel outside of the extract. One way Adichie makes this section impactful to the reader is through the way she changes the atmosphere and mood very quickly. So atmosphere and mood, we're into focusing on how the techniques. Early in the extract, Amica is demonstrating her characteristic humour and outspokenness when she jokes that the phone call must be from one of the similarly poor neighbours, people who want you to dash them our plates, even the underwear we have on. Now, characteristic humour is a way of showing that you understand the characterization of Amica and the kind of character that she is, and that's that wider sense and wider understanding, that she can be outspoken and forthright. Tifwoma is laughing when she takes the call. Obviously, that verb is significant because that's soon to change. As a reader, we see Adichie has purposely created a happy and positive setting to make the bad news seem more impactful for us. Effects on the reader. The adverb silently makes the noise of the emotional outburst at the news even more impactful. Scream. The mood has shifted and becomes even more intense with the description of Kambili. My hand shook so much that the earpiece slid away. But by the end of the extract, the characters have all learned of Papa Eugene's death, and the mood is a somber one, with Papa spoken of in the past tense. He had seemed immortal. Notice that for each point I'm trying to support with a short quotation from the extract, and wherever possible, focusing on a technique, whether that's language or structure. In this case, the use of past tense. Okay, let's move on. Adichie uses a number of structural devices to make this part of the novel tense for us, the reader. Notice that we are using a synonym of the keywords in the question. Repetition of short, a short moment, a short strangled scream, and a letter bomb convey how quickly the mood changes. The repeated, almost robotic way Mama announces the death is as though she has memorized a script. This is seen in those lines. We wonder whether this is to cover her guilt over being the one who poisoned Eugene, or because this is so difficult to tell her children, or both. So we are aware of the context of Papa Eugene's death, that Mama is the one who has caused this, and that might be why she is being robotic. Again, you're showing that wider understanding of the novel and bringing that to bear on the extract. Short sentences also reinforce the sense of how quickly things have changed. Notice the use of the evaluative verb there. Kambili, it's your father. And Jaja grabbed the phone. All convey a sense of shock and urgency amongst the characters. The fact that Jaja grabbed the phone shows how he is growing up and may even foreshadow how he will take charge of a later situation when he claims to be the one who did the poisoning to save Mama from doing jail time. Okay, well, again, we're showing that wider understanding. We're focusing in on individual words and considering why they've been used. That also makes us readers feel a strong sense that this moment is especially climactic within the novel. Effect on the readers and focus on the question. This is all furthered by the delay of information, which I guess is a kind of technique, isn't it? It's a structural device. It takes time for us as readers to learn why it is that Auntie Afwelma screamed. This delay serves to create further drama in this moment of the novel. Again, we're wrapping up the paragraph by going back to the question and making the examiner under no illusion that we've got the question absolutely in mind throughout the response. With the use of verbs and other carefully chosen diction, Adichie is able to clearly convey how important this event is within the novel's structure. The use of verbs and adverbs is a highly effective way that Adichie creates and develops attention at this point. Early verbs, such as laughing and silently absorbed, are soon replaced by verbs such as rushed, grasped, grabbed, and shook, which all convey the panic. By the end of the extract, Kambili sat and stared as she is so shocked by the news she cannot move. And yes, we could probably unpack these a little bit more, but obviously time is an issue. The diction and figurative language of the extract conveys the enormity of this moment for the reader. The metaphor, my ears filled with liquid, vividly suggests the blood pumping in Kambili's ears as her adrenaline courses through her body at the news of her father's death. Also, the simile, Mama sounded like a recording, emphasizes how difficult she is finding it to convey the terrible news of his death, but also to perhaps cover up her true sense of guilt that she is the one who poisoned him and brought about his death, as we learn later in the novel. Again, we're bringing in our wider understanding, our knowledge there for AO1. In conclusion, Adichie uses a wide range of structural and linguistic techniques to make us vividly feel the range of conflicting emotions felt by Auntie Afwelma, Amaka, Kambili, and Jaja at this important and dramatic moment in the novel. If you have time to write a very brief one-sentence conclusion and just wrap things up and link back to the question, that is great. But obviously, it's not the easiest thing in 45 minutes. Anyway, so that's the response. Please do get back in touch and drop me any questions that you might have in the comments. And obviously, don't forget to subscribe so you can get more content to really help you ace your English exams. Have a really good day, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.